So I started reading a book called A Calendar of Wisdom by Leo Tolstoy. And I don't know if I'm getting into a niche here where you guys don't know enough about books, or I don't know who my audience is here, right? So if you guys don't know who Leo Tolstoy is, he's pretty much considered one of the greatest writers of all time. If you guys are familiar with the book War and Peace or Anna Karenina, those are his biggest works. But he has a book called A Calendar of Wisdom, which is kind of a philosophy book where how it's broken out is every day there is some piece of advice or wisdom or philosophy that he provides, and he provides a bunch of quotes in there that are from a bunch of famous authors, writers, religions, all of these different teachings put together into one page of philosophy, and he ties it into what he has culminated in his life, what he thinks is valuable. And I wanted to read it because I didn't even know he did nonfiction. I've wanted to read War and Peace and Anna Karenina, but if you guys don't know, those books are absolutely huge. And I don't think I'm at the ability yet where I can read those. If you guys don't know, I got into a huge audiobook phase a year or two ago and absolutely was obsessed with reading and was killing books left, right, and center, reading listening to 2 to 3 books a week, and I was obsessed with it. I loved it. And then I got out of it after I started focusing more on my career and focusing on, studying for interviews and whatnot. But now I've kind of taken a step back on that, and I'm kind of getting back into reading, and I want to get back into reading physical books. And what I want to talk about in the video today is that there is a quote. It's the very first thing that he provides in the book, the first piece of wisdom, and it's for January 1st. And the quote is, "It is better to know a few things which are good and necessary than many things which are useless and mediocre," which is interesting to me and kind of goes over narrowing not your worldview, but narrowing your action onto the things that are, or let me rephrase, it's essentially focusing on quality over quantity. That's kind of what it is. It's a metaphor for that. And he has a bunch of quotes from authors and stuff in this little page snippet of the work of that page, and talking about why would you waste your time reading bad books when you can be reading good books? And I'm trying to apply that essentially into today's worldview. And as I start getting back into reading and whatnot, of course, I'm considering that lens, but I think I can consider that because now I'm also getting back into video games and whatnot. But I want to play good video games. I've missed out on so many, but now I know, at least from this, is just narrowing down and focusing on quality over quantity. And I think that's super important, and something that we can take into our lives is just, not overwhelming ourselves with so many things, but just narrowing down and just focusing on the things that matter and are the most important, right? So this can be taken in any context, right? There's so many different ways you can think about this, but there are certain things, movies, books, games, whatever, right, that are considered good for a reason, that we, especially now with the world of social media and all these Netflix and streaming movies that they're just pumping out, right? This is not good quality content for us to be watching, right, guys, and experiencing, and narrowing this down and focusing on the stuff that everyone deems as good, very good, that's probably better for us. I would say an example, like I just said, social media, doom scrolling is a big example of something that's completely bad. He gave a reference in the book. I don't remember what quote he had quoted from, what author, but it talked about reading bad newspapers and poisoning your mind, with bad content and bad words, and making sure you're focusing on what's good and what provides a good value to so many people. It will likely provide good value to you. So I wanted to just share that with you guys, and we all know it, right? It's not rocket science, but to focus on the quality over the quantity, or focus on what's what the right thing is. We all know. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's just an interesting topic. I'm getting into reading this book, and I might share more from it. Like, I've literally gone through and read ahead a few days. Of course, I'm not reading it one day at a time. I want to just obsess and read through the whole thing. And there's some interesting points. There's a few points that I'm not really sticking with. Now, you got to remember this was written 100 years ago. So there's a lot of points like talking about like children that are raised as Christians or raised in a religious household are the best children. Now, of course, the world is different now, but it's just having a good upbringing, I think, is the more sensible way to look at it for now in our light today, for that quote. But yeah, I'm probably going to be sharing things from this book as I continue to read it. And I'm also writing down like the ones that stick out to me. The one I just talked about being like narrowing down on quality over quantity. That is one I wrote down. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about that. How do you guys interpret that? I think it's a really interesting book. If you haven't read it, it's called A Calendar of Wisdom, I think, or A Calendar with Wisdom, something to that effect, by Leo Tolstoy. So you guys should totally check it out. Thank you guys, as always, for listening to the video. And as always, have a great weekend. Happy Saturday, and peace out.